And we are late to the party, and we have come to the final road trip edition of Better Late Than Never. And we are moving on to, it was either going to be Road Trip or Tommy Boy. We've got Chris Farley, David Spade, starring at the forefront of Peter Segal's comedy, which he did a lot of comedy, a lot of Adam Sandler comedies too, written by Bonnie and Terry Turner, who also wrote a ton of SNL films back in the day.
Yeah, if you see that Lorne Michaels at the beginning, you know that they're a part of it somehow.
But let's take a look at the original trailer for Tommy Boy, and then we'll get into it. Retro reaction now. Using Bo.
Holy shnikes. Is that for me? No, son, that's for me.
Ryan.
Oh boy. Perfect.
You know, a lot of people go to college for 7 years.
I know. They're called doctors.
There's always has been, always will be, a family firm.
Boom.
Oh, son of a... Someday my son will run it. Luke, I am your father.
Aw, I've interrupted happy time.
That's my name. Yeah, that's your new office now.
Oh boy.
Do we really want to put the future of the company in Tommy's hands?
Promise me you'll look after Tommy Boy here till he gets his feet wet.
Sure, and thanks for choosing me. Hey, Tommy, this is not a vacation for me. I'm out here against my will, so the least you can do is pretend to work.
I can actually hear you getting
I can
fatter.
actually hear you getting fatter. It's sale time, so remember, we don't take...
No for an answer.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna pass.
Gotcha, thanks.
Oh, so.
That's gonna leave a mark.
That's two.
Okay, let's check you out. All right.
It's a clip-on.
Hi,
You sure? Even plane
He's a
travel.
big dumb animal, isn't he, folks?
Yeah. Oh boy. That's probably one of my favorite parts. Just the look on his face.
What'd you do?
Oh boy.
I love that cut.
I'm a maniac on the floor.
Did you eat a lot of paint chips when you were a kid?
Why?
Oh, even
And they got the music too. Yeah, so this movie was a family favorite in the 90s, partly because it was SNL. Everybody from this movie, you know, I mean, at least when it came to the creative side, was killing it in SNL. And you had Lorne Michaels also doing Billy Madison at the same time with Adam Sandler. It is one of the movies that we always quoted at school as kids, with the family, everybody, but yet it was not critically received, and still, like to this day, I assume, not critically received.
Yeah.
Roger Ebert even put it on his most hated list.
Yeah, getting a 42% on Rotten Tomatoes as well.
Currently.
So it's just, you know, interesting to see how over time maybe people started to like it, or it just has a different niche of characters that you... And I can see it though too, because you know the way that Chris Farley acts in the movies that he does, like he always has that like crazy manic,
frantic,
yeah,
high energy.
like high energy, like just going like on a whole nother level that Chris Farley was. So, and he you know, he had that same character essentially a little bit in Black Sheep as well.
He did, and he wanted either two people to be in this movie with him to take on the role as Richard. It was either Adam Sandler or it was David Spade. But again, Adam Sandler a little bit busy at that point, at the forefront of his own movie.
Shut up!
So it ended up being David Spade, because they were still working on SNL while this movie was being made. So you got to figure, you know, it's those those comedic juices are flowing when it comes to SNL. A lot of the jokes they did end up carrying over from their time just working together at SNL. Fat guy in a little coat was something that, it's something Chris Farley would do to kind of, have some fun with David Spade.
Down by the river.
When you're living in a van down by the river.
I know, right? Just that scene itself, David Spade is losing it the entire time during those sketches. So they did end up having a lot of fun, and then that is what you do end up seeing brought to Tommy Boy.
And I think that's what I like about it, is the fact that they do, like, on screen play off each other very, very well.
Right.
And the same thing happened with Black Sheep. They play off of each other very well. You have Chris Farley, who's kind of the idiotic character, dumb, going physical type comedy, and then you have...
He's got a heart of gold.
Drew, and then you have, David Spade's character, who's very kind of like
the straight man.
He has his jacket. He needs to stay focused and do his thing, and then you see him loosen up a little bit as the story progressed, just like the car.
The John Candy and the Steve Martin, the two of them together, it makes for very comedic moments, especially when you take it on the road. There's so many different comedic moments that do occur on the road that are absolutely memorable. The music itself, the songs that they sing, that's what makes it a road trip movie too. There's so many moments when they're singing together, and that's what makes it feel like that good old-fashioned road trip comedy.
Don't you remember you told me you love me, baby?
Yeah, like you said, you have that scene, especially you saw it in the trailer where you have
the deer
in the back of the car.
You take dead animals to the vet?
Why not? Take you to the vet.
Yeah, I'll take you to the...
And then them going all crazy because of that.
And little by little, the car just gets destroyed, all because of Tommy. The door falling. What'd you do? That one killed Vanessa.
What'd you do?
That one cracks me up every time. Because, him backing up and the door just kind of goes the wrong way. And then just the way he looks back. And then he looks forward, when he... it's
those reactions. It's the reactions, especially when David Spade's hair blows off and it's he's wearing the toupee. Like I thought
he was wearing a toupee the whole time.
She was still laughing so long after that.
But it's interesting about this movie too is the fact that you do have one crucial character in the story that kind of is a little bit of the reason why everything is going haywire and bad.
Right.
And that is Rob Lowe's character.
Paul! Yeah, I love Paul. And Rob Lowe, not even credited for this movie, and he was busy filming The Stand, and he was linked to that, so he couldn't be credited. And in fact, he was so busy that it ended up causing issues, and they were actually trying to recast his role while they were making the movie, and they were recasting, and they actually did an audition with Matthew McConaughey to come in as Paul. And I
see it.
I could see it too, but Rob Lowe as a villain, I love him as Benjamin in Wayne's World. I love him here as a villain. You got Chris Traeger in Parks and Rec.
But I love the lovable Chris Traeger.
Of course, but that came much later. Before he was literally a bad guy, and he plays it so well as Paul. But I do like, the moments that he does end up having with Tommy, because Tommy's so happy to have a brother, and he ends up kind of finding one within Richard eventually.
Right.
But yeah, Rob Lowe and Richard, when it came to David Spade, they ended up having a night out drinking, and it caused a bit of jealousy from Chris Farley. And then there was an altercation.
So you know how in the movie they do have a fight where you have David Spade's Richard's character slapping the crap out of him and hitting him with a thing.
2x4. Not here, not here,
but
right here.
Not here or here so much, but right here.
Nope. Ship shape.
But it actually happened off of the camera. So bad that Chris Farley, I guess, allegedly pushed him down a flight of stairs?
Well, what ended up happening was Rob Lowe and David Spade went out drinking, and then Chris Farley got incredibly jealous and kept bringing it up over and over and over to David Spade about how was Rob? And then David Spade got mad, threw a Diet Coke at him. Chris Farley ended up throwing David Spade into a wall, down a flight of stairs. David Spade walked off the set, said he wasn't going to be in the movie anymore, refused to film, and they had to communicate through the director. So that's what we say. It's funny on screen when they bring their comedy. That's because it was already created by them. But when you actually go and execute it, I feel like it's just too much time together. And these guys ended up bumping heads when it came to filming this movie.
Right.
Who's the star? You know, a lot of ego comes into play. Chris Farley wanted Rob Lowe to do it, and Rob Lowe did it because of Chris Farley. So they're already friends, and you know, Chris Farley is a very manic type personality, so I could see him going overboard. And it's funny, they ended up both dating. Both David Spade and Chris Farley dated the girl in the pool. You know,
The one that goes skinny dipping.
Spanktravision, which is also kind of a throwback to Vacation because she's out in the pool too. But you end up having both of them actually dated her, and then there was some tension between them for that. And then when they filmed Black Sheep, there was more tension between the two. So I don't know, man. And there's things about David Spade not going to the funeral too.
Where he was very notably not at the funeral for Chris Farley, and then years later he was saying how, David Spade said how he didn't want to go to the funeral because it would hurt too much.
I get it.
And in a way, you know, we really don't know what the reason was.
Sure.
But I feel like he was really appreciative of Chris Farley's, you know, friendship.
Yeah.
That I believe it, that it would be too much pain because of everything that they had gone through.
Yeah.
Through all of that, you know, hatred and stuff, that maybe he was just like, it would probably hurt him too much.
I get it.
To go to.
And at the same time, man, Chris Farley was a rising star.
Yeah.
And I love Almost Heroes with Matthew Perry too.
To this day, actually, I thought he was older than he actually was when he died. Like, I knew he died, but when I was reading up about it, I was like, dang, 33?
Yeah.
Like, I thought he was a little bit older than 33. Like, he was really young when he died.
Right.
But, you know, going back onto a happy note, you have the amazing score written by David Newman, who the music is just very uplifting in the movie. And it feels for like that time, the 90s, like it has that 90s feel to it for all the movies that kind of had like that comedic but happy tone. Like, there are certain parts in the movie where I'm like, that feels like Jingle All the Way. And I love Jingle All the Way, and I love the music from Jingle All the Way too, because you have those certain aspects of that physical comedy, and you have that musical cues happening when Arnold Schwarzenegger is just getting into all kinds of crazy stuff because he wants to get that Turbo Man.
David Newman knows how to write these scores. He knows how to make them fun. Galaxy Quest, he did the music for that too. But yeah, Tom Callahan, even like the moments with his dad, Brian Dennehy, the late Brian Dennehy, who just passed not too long ago. I love that moment at the end of the movie too, where Tommy's out on the boat and he's asking for a little help with the wind, and his dad ends up helping him. And thanks, it, son of a, that's gonna leave a mark. Son of a, 10 times in this movie. And yeah, quotable, completely quotable after the fact. The music, the score, the characters, Zelensky, freaking Dan Aykroyd.
I totally forgot about that.
Really, throw one past me, kid. Savor the flavor, because it won't happen again.
It's so funny though, because when you're watching this, it's like his character, like the way his voice is like
he's
him
totally
being like
Beldar.
he's like a businessman, but like you could like hear Beldar in there.
But it's funny because Beldar was the best businessman. Like, Beldar was so good at what he did, and Zelensky is too, man. I love the twists. I love the turns in this movie. It's a good comedy. It's one that I could go back, watch, and I quote. Like, I'll sit there and I'll just quote this movie, even the lines that aren't even the big quotes. God, man, I was growing up as a fat kid too, man. I was always those fat guy in a little jokes. But either way, Tommy Boy, what did you guys think of it? Let us know down in the comments below. You can also like and subscribe.
And do the thing on our Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Stardust.
All the social networking gin joints, you know where they are. Kick into the party, fuel the party, keep the party going on our Patreon. Check out Late in the Week. We just had episode 1 this past Saturday. We've got episode 2 coming this Saturday at 5 o'clock. Be on the lookout for that. Thank you so much, and as always,
now it's time to say goodbye.
this party is over.
Bye.
Bye.